Yeah!
Where in the world is
Mrs. Diamond's mug from?
Hello Wildcats! On this edition of Where Are Mrs. Diamond's Mugs From, we're going to be featuring several mugs from within the United States. So while we are all at home social distancing, we brewed up some excellent travel facts just for you. Philadelphia is our first mug feature for today. Philadelphia was founded by William Penn and served as our nation's first capital, hosting both the First and Second Continental Congresses during the American Revolution. It is now home to many iconic memorials to our nation's founding, such as Independence Hall, the Liberty Bell, and many other museums that celebrate the founding of America. Philadelphia is also home to our nation's first zoo and first hospital. They're known for quite a few things, but one of their most notable accomplishments was in 1988, the Philadelphia Eagles made the world's largest cheesesteak that was the length of an entire football field. Cheers to Philadelphia. Since many of us wish we were celebrating our spring breaks in the Sunshine State, Florida earns our next mug feature. Florida was first founded in 1513 when Spanish settlers arrived, and St. Augustine is the oldest European settlement in North America. NASA's first manned space flight took off from Cape Canaveral in 1961 and still holds many launches today. One of the most famous attractions in Florida is, of course, Walt Disney World, which opened in 1971. It's roughly the same size as the city of San Francisco and hosts over 46 million visitors each year. Nearly 1,000 people move to Florida each day, although hopefully not while they're social distancing, hopefully just a few at a time. And one of the unique things about Florida is that there are actually no dinosaur fossils. Even though they have a large population of snakes and reptiles, the entire state of Florida was underwater during the prehistoric era. Venice is known as the shark tooth capital of the world, so even though there aren't any dinosaurs, there are still plenty of sharks at the beaches. The polar weather we've been having this April means that it would only be appropriate to make Alaska our next mug feature for today. Alaska became the 49th state in 1959, but was settled during the Yukon and Klondike gold rushes of the late 1800s, not to be confused with the ice cream bar. During World War II, 2 Alaskan islands were actually invaded and occupied by Japanese soldiers. Of the 20 tallest mountains in the United States, 17 of those are in Alaska, and Alaska is also home to over 100 volcanoes. Juneau is the only capital city in the United States that's accessible only by boat or by plane. It's also the largest state capital. In Barrow, Alaska, they have the longest and the shortest day. When the sun rises on May 10th, it doesn't set for nearly 3 months. And on November 18th, the sun doesn't rise for nearly 2 months. In Alaska, there's approximately 1 bear for every 21 people, so make sure that you leave your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at home while out on a hike. And dog mushing is the state sport. The Iditarod dog sledding race is the state's largest sporting event, so be sure to test your dog's endurance before taking them out racing.
Go.
Our mug tour would not be complete without a trip to Sweet Home Chicago, so Chicago is our last mug feature today. Chicago is home to many inventions, including the Ferris wheel, roller skates, skyscrapers, Cracker Jacks, zippers, pinball, a remote control, spray paint, and softball. Many of these inventions were introduced during the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. The first splitting of an atom also first happened in Chicago underneath the football field at the University of Chicago. This discovery led to the invention of nuclear power and the atomic bomb. The Chicago River, interestingly, flows backward. It flows away from Lake Michigan in order to prevent pollution and flows toward the Mississippi River. Wrigley Field, home to not only the world's greatest baseball team, but also the second oldest ballpark in the Major League. Walt Disney was born in Chicago, and the Sears or Willis Tower elevators are some of the fastest in the world, moving guests at over 1,600 feet per minute. Chicago's Field Museum owns the world's most complete T-Rex skeleton named Sue. The first animal at the Lincoln Park Zoo actually came from the Philadelphia Zoo and was a brown bear cub. There are more than 2,000 hot dog stands in the city of Chicago, more than Burger King, McDonald's, and Wendy's restaurants combined. Last but not least, we obviously have the best pizza, And your local leaders, including Lori Lightfoot, Governor Pritzker, the leaders of Plainfield, Joliet, and Romeoville, would like to remind you to stay healthy, stay safe, and stay home.
Where in the world is
Mrs. Diamond's mug from